champion, so it might not be all that straightforward for WANGMANYU.
Yeah, internationally she's been playing quite well, but the WTT stage, the biggest of them all. And she's had trouble with ADRIANA DIAZ on the international stage before. In a best of 5, it'll be the first player to win 3 games. Daniel Gonzalez, also representing Puerto Rico, on the bench this time. And in their WTT head-to-head, WANGMANYU 3 for 3.
3-4-3, absolutely, but ADRIANA DIAZ, there is no pressure on her. The crowd very much will be behind WANGMANYU. She'll want to get to the final, she'll want to avenge that disappointing Singapore smash, and ADRIANA DIAZ will be able to go out and play with absolute freedom.
Assistant umpire Li Lin, China. Black or red? Red. Black for you. You win. You receive. Are you playing that side? Okay.
DIAZ wins the toss ahead of this one. Just listen to the sound inside this arena. It's very much a party atmosphere ahead of this one. Those players, of course, will need to block out the distractions, block out the sounds. Or will they? Will they feed off that energy?
It's a good question. In recent history, WANGMANYU's had some unusual energy in a stadium of this size. And here I've met many of her fans already. 26 years old, remember when she burst onto the scene at 18. Currently world ranked number 2, and while she's just about 2,500 points, give or take, behind the world number 1, she's taken some titles. Here's a look at them. In recent history, her last 3 event results: a champion in Frankfurt at a champions event, the champion of the finals Fukuoka 2024. But as you mentioned, Singapore smash. Round of 16 is tough when you're top 2 in the world.
That's her one and only loss all year. She's lost that one match, but that one is going to hurt, going into that Singapore smash to try and defend her title, to be knocked out in the round of 16. ADRIANA DIAZ currently ranked 16 in the world. She has been inside the top 10. She was world number 9 last year. She's only played 3 matches this year. She reached the round of 16 at the Singapore Smash. She lost there to Wang Yubi, another Chinese player. Certainly she doesn't have as much match time under her belt, Adam. Will she be coming in fresh or maybe a bit rusty? Well, this is the event schedule. It's a jam-packed week here in Chongqing. This is day 2. We are still on the opening rounds for the best men's and women's, 32 best men's and women's players in the world. That'll be whittled down to the round of 16 starting from tomorrow, and then we're into the quarterfinals on Friday before the semi-finals Saturday, and of course the final, the big one, on Sunday. Will we be seeing WANGMANYU back in consecutive Chongqing finals? What do you think, Adam?
Well, she's definitely the favorite, let's say, to be there as the world number 2. The fans right now for this one, nearly 3/4 voting for WANGMANYU. WorldTableTennis.com cash.
I used to hate cleaning my guns. I mean, who likes using a patch? And dealing with all that mess? And drugstore swabs are definitely not made for the job. And how about the lint? After a while, I just stopped cleaning my guns. Then I joined the Ramrods revolution.
Certainly not in a field of this quality. The field absolutely stacked, as you'd expect at champions level. But it won't be easy to get past DIAZ either, currently on a run of 6 consecutive round of 16 finishes at champions level.
Yeah, and I know it's not part of their WTT head-to-head, but in a short sample size, ADRIANA DIAZ did beat WANGMANYU. So that gives you a sense of belief. It's like, if I can do 2, maybe I can do 3 in a best of 5. ADRIANA DIAZ's game is incredibly tricky. She gets a lot of points off her serve. Her backhand punch is very fast. The chop block I don't see out of her as much as she used to use it. But I think at this level, it's just such a fast game. The women's game doesn't come out so often, and WANGMANYU's quite adaptable, which is part of the reason she's world number 2.
It was good work, though, from DIAZ.
3-2.
Good variation out here. WANGMANYU slow and spinny on the first, then speeds it up. This is a tactic used against her more than anything else, but it's her way of saying, I can play your game as well.
A good rally. Diaz holding her own, but WANGMANYU getting the better of her in the end, looking to establish herself in these early stages.
Three, four.
Disappointing for WANGMANYU, disappointed with herself. She'll know she should have done better with that one.
Well, that's everyone's hope, right? Adriana Diaz's service game is that tricky that I think she also knows Adriana is going to win her fair share of points on serve, and that's just part of the game. But this backhand inside the table, I think it's easier to give credit here to the player who's pulling out some really impressive shots from serves to not conventional receives in the women's game.
5-0.
Diaz tried the same trick again, just failed to connect that time.
Yeah, credit to WANGMANYU for tightening up the serve a little bit, putting a little bit of side spin on it to bring her more to the forehand.
5-6.
Diaz going there for the big forehand to try and get that point finished off. Find the net instead.
This is that race to the step round when you know you want to do it and your opponent knows as well and says, let's see if you can pivot around this. It's going to be a lot of work to get this out of your midsection. Clever shot as WANGMANYU spins from inside the table. Little score adjustment here. Ooh. Scoreboard having some fun. There we go. So WANGMANYU with a more convincing lead at this point in the match. Game one here, the best of 5. First player to win 3, remember.
9-4. Nine.
Diaz with the return into the net hands the game points to WANGMANYU. Second successive backhand into the net. WANGMANYU wraps up the opener by 11 points to 5. A good start from last year's finalist.
Yeah, WANGMANYU well prepared. She's an incredibly complete player. Adriana Diaz has caused her trouble before. She's got all the ingredients, but WANGMANYU leaves very few holes in her game. Adriana Diaz's backhand punch when it comes down is tough to rally with, but in terms of security, it's a flatter shot. It doesn't have quite the percentages. There you have it. WANGMANYU takes the first.
Well, here's a look at the top seeds here in Chongqing. Sun Yingsha, world number 1, WANGMANYU. World number 2, those are last year's finalists. Sun Yingsha, of course, getting the better of WANGMANYU. Wang Yidi, we saw her in action earlier on. China dominating the seeded players. Japan obviously well represented as well, although they did lose Nina Ito earlier on, who was knocked out.
I think most excitingly, we'll have a chance to see Miwa Harimoto, one of the seeds later on tonight. She's a fast rising star. She's caused some trouble. Not so many players have beaten the world #1, Sunying Xia. Miwa Harimoto is in that very small group of non-Chinese players who have beaten the queen of the game right now.
Second game, DIAZ to serve, level. Love 1.
DIAZ unable to live with WANGMANYU once they get into any kind of a rally, Adam.
1-1.
What I would extract from that statement is that it's to her benefit to try and play shorter rallies, and she does here, effectively. This is a true story of most players, that when you're playing someone who's a stronger player with a better world ranking, you don't want to extend the rally. It's the law of averages. It'll just favor the player who's, well, more likely to win. And she's taking her chances. Here you can see that drive. If it comes down, it's trouble. Playing a little bit out of her comfort zone, a bit of a chop block, and a very fluid backhand. I don't know how many other players you can name from Puerto Rico who played the Chinese Super League. But I don't think there's another one in history other than Adriana Diaz. So she is a threat, no doubt about it. Recovers the net beautifully there in this point. A bit of defense and forcing WANGMANYU to take a chance, step around.
Wang just controlling that rally perfectly. Had Diaz on the back foot, never fully comfortable. She looked a fraction of a second off the pace throughout.
Yeah, that's some bait right there, leaving it in the backhand corner. A long push. Says you can step around if you want, but it's going to cost you a little bit of time and open up the table for me.
5-2.
Seeing a little bit more creativity out here. Adriana Diaz not afraid to try new things. And they're not new for her, but in this match, chop blocks, we haven't seen many. A little bit of strawberry side spin early on.
So impressive from the world #2, the full support, of course, of her colleagues and teammates.
There we go, the speedy backhand on the parallel. She's got some pace to her game. I remember watching as Adriana Diaz would bring tears to the eyes of opponents in Chinese uniforms. The backhand is a big part of that. Look at this, a no-look shot on one foot. Adriana Diaz, for a 24-year-old, has one of the best highlight reels of any 24-year-old in the game. And a no-look shot, a chase, a lob. She can do just about everything there is, but in the speed game, the complete game of WANGMANYU, there's a reason the scoreboard is the way it is.
Trying her best to conceal a smile there, but she's allowed to celebrate those moments.
I think if anybody out here is, Adriana Diaz is the one. She's one of 4 sisters to represent Puerto Rico internationally, the Diaz family. They're sort of the pride of Puerto Rico. Using that strawberry side spin again early on, but cautiously on the other side. WANGMANYU keeping it in play. Saying, I see what you're doing there. That was the side spin. But I'm going to make you play one more. And the residual side spin plus the threat of WANGMANYU's attack waiting on the other side adds a lot of pressure.
4-9.
WANGMANYU just so comfortable in those rallies. She's just like clockwork.
Oh, the chop block loaded. This one was spin. Mel Diaz is here with Bruna Takahashi. When have you seen someone put so much side spin on the ball that it turned WANGMANYU passive? That's the save game point. The chop block. She's got one of the highest percentages in the game with the chop block, and it's been a long time since it came out, but WANGMANYU muscles her way through. There it is, that side spin and the heavy chop block, that is, the side and underspin on the ball. Now a 2-0 lead for the world number 2, WANGMANYU.
假如这个位置不好，我看就是相熟了，除非特别好的位置，哎，超越值或加得点，正常就无所谓的。包括你刚才
WANGMANYU a game away from the round of 16.
Level.
We saw flashes of absolute brilliance from DIAZ. This is a must-win game for her. What is she going to do in this one, Adam? Is she going to do anything differently?
I expect her to do quite a lot differently. She won a few points with a bit of flair out there, some side spin, mixing it up. She's going to take her chances even more. I think she's going to dial it up. Make that first shot count when she can, but keep it funky. And she's taking her chances off the bounce. It is not easy with these leaping top spins from behind the table that WANGMANYU brings back time and time again. Athleticism right there. I don't know about you, but I was feeling for that right shoulder muscle of WANGMANYU. It is well trained. There it is, a fanning shot. The side spin sets it up. Daniel Gonzalez there on the bench, up on his feet after that creativity comes out. I don't know about you, but as a spectator, I love a bit of creativity, and Adriana DIAZ more than almost anyone in the women's game. There it is again! Rushing backhand. The way she hits the side of the ball, it leaves it awkwardly bending. It's a rhythm-breaking shot, change of pace. She's going to miss some, but she's going to take more, and her percentages will just get better and better, and it's going to be up to WANGMANYU to take control. This is the third point in a row that she's played one off-speed shot, something funky, and then immediately followed it. A chop, a floating chop, and then she plays to finish, not to rally. WANGMANYU is going to have to make some adjustments. Yes, it's a best of 5 and she's one game away, but look who's in front here. Still a long way to go before the finish line.
DIAZ just playing with such confidence, and she took that so instinctively.
It's a scary thing to know that you have to take a chance. You have to play a low percentage shot and then follow it up with another low percentage shot and hope that both work. But she's been doing incredibly well at putting those down on the table. And it feels like the pressure has shifted a bit. This is the biggest lead Adriana DIAZ has had this match to my memory.
Yeah, WANGMANYU just hasn't had a look in this crucial third game. DIAZ thriving under the pressure.
And without a doubt, after 11-5, 11-5 the last two, Adriana DIAZ already tying her score. And again, she's trying. This one sits up, a little bit of side spin on it, but the time, WANGMANYU's right there near the table, able to read it, put it away. The angle, DIAZ quick to counter back. It comes in wide and it comes back wider. With interest, DIAZ on the move, continuing to add points to her lead. I missed the chop blocks. Adriana DIAZ took the US Open when she was 16 years old, playing more chop blocks than any individual player I've ever seen in a match. Having watched Koki Niwa, having watched Truls Morgaard, Ma Long, That's quite a statement. Adriana Diaz bringing back some good memories here with their chop block.
WANGMANYU, though, closing that gap. Just this single point now. It'll be fascinating to see how Diaz responds. She was absolutely in the ascendancy. Do have the timeout. And it is not surprising, Adam. She's gone from having a comfortable, well, not comfortable, but a decent lead to being pegged back.
Sigue, no hay problema, puedes seguir. Pan, pan, pan. Si falla, seguimos, no hay problema, seguimos. Pero la idea que estamos haciendo es muy buena porque ahora ella no sabe qué está pasando. Ya la cambiamos, sacamos de su zona de confort y ahora no estamos. Ok, puedes sacar uno largo al medio. Ahora, vas a sacar tú. ¿Qué crees? Sí, un corto aquí. Ok, pues aquí corto. Aquí corto. Sí, aquí corto. Buscamos ofensivo. Si te llega, claro. Boom, el bajante. Búscalo también paralelo. Vamos allá, vamos allá. Podemos.
Well, let's go, he says.
Some words of encouragement.
Children's Afrin, ridiculously fast nasal congestion relief. The wow is real.
Got a fantastic relationship. He actually is more than a coach. He's almost like a personal chef.
Well, I mean, they've grown up together training in Utuado. I mean, it's a beautiful mountain town with some of the best views in Puerto Rico. And it's a table tennis hub, the mecca of table tennis in Puerto Rico. So well over a decade training together. They've got each other's back, to say the least.
With such pace.
After being down 2-5, 5 of the last 6 points, WANGMANYU making her adjustments, not allowing much chop block to come her way. Little help from the net here in the fast exchange. Diaz offering her apologies for the fortune, but leveled out. Remember, I mentioned it wasn't a WTT event, but Adriana Diaz did beat WANGMANYU before. People remember the players who've defeated them.
It was stunning from WANGMANYU.
Yeah, the chop block comes out, but sits up just a little bit high, and WANGMANYU doing a wonderful job to leap in, lunge forward, and catch that ball before it's dropped. The in and out game is not easy.
8-8.
Adriana Diaz, what a fight this is.
Yeah, this is not an easy way to win a point against WANGMANYU. Wingspan corner to corner, fast open rally, but Adriana Diaz finds a way to get in front still. A ways to go before that finish line in game 3.
Well, this is going to be a fascinating finish to this third game, Adam. I'm not going to ask you to predict because I know you don't like to do that. But 9-9 in game 3.
Little reminder of the serve success here. 22% better. WANGMANYU, she just needs 2 with their serves here. Incredible point. The lobbing, the counter, there was a flat hit cross court. Adriana Diaz backhand ripped it from behind the table. Here's the fishing shot. Get ready for the counter. That one Even in the replay was so fast. WANGMANYU comes down on the top of the net with the next ball to set up match point. But that one, that was a highlight.
11-9.
WANGMANYU survives a scare, survives a spirited fight from ADRIANA DIAZ in the third to seal her place in the round of 16. But Adam, we've seen a lot of 3-love matches today, and they really don't tell the story of how tight it can be. In that game, it was